We've got barbecue back here. You're all invited. Welcome to the SlooPcast. How are you doing today, Kyle?
I'm doing all right, Jared. How are you?
How's your lip sync doing? Is lip sync good?
Yes.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad, Kyle. You're a very talented person. I didn't know you had that one in your bag of tricks, though.
Thank you. All right, week 4. We are week 4 here of our SlooPicks here, Jared. Jared, how are we doing on the SlooPicks?
I don't know. How are we doing on the SlooPicks?
Don't look, Jared, because we're not doing too well. But I am beating you, and that's what matters.
How bad is it? I didn't feel like I was doing bad, but I also wasn't fact checking my feelings.
You want to know how many points you had in week 3, Jared?
No. Not if you're going to make
whatever
that
you
face.
Whatever you think it is, whatever you think it is, it's lower than that.
What if I think it's 0? Ha!
Well,
got him. Guys, I got him.
Yeah. Not off to a hot start, but we're going to do better, Jared. We're going to do better, and that starts here in week 4. We got 6 games to pick here, Jared. And if you wanted to...
Week 4.5.
Week 4.5? What? Oh, whatever. If you want to listen to Ohio State...
I made that joke last week.
If you want to listen to our Ohio State Notre Dame prediction, listen to our Thursday episode. But we'll jump right into it, Jared. We're going to start off strong here. We're going to go in the Big Ten Nooner game on the Big Ten Network. Rutgers, undefeated Rutgers, taking on that team up north, where the Skunk Bears, or the Skunk Weasels, as Cousin Jay says here, is a 24.5 point favorite. But Jared, I think it's going to be closer than that. I think it's going to be closer. I got the team in Scarlet covering this game. Will they win? No, I think Michigan will win this easily. I got the team in Scarlet covering this game.
As a wise, very entertaining, cranky old man once said, much closer than the experts believe, much closer than the experts think.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with Rutgers on this one, Kyle.
Well, yeah, that's right. Hairball will be joining, or yeah. Excuse me, Hardball will be.
He's risking further punishment by not taking the 4-game suspension, by only taking a 3-game suspension given to him by the university instead of the NCAA, by not agreeing to the NCAA 4-game suspension. He is risking additional time loss down the road so he can come back and coach in a -24 game against Rutgers. He is not a smart man.
No, we knew this already, Jared. We knew this.
But yeah, I got Rutgers to scare Michigan in this game. I don't think they pull it off. But I got Rutgers to give Michigan a decent scare in this game. Kyle, side bet. Over under at 44.5 feels low to me. What do you think?
I'll go over with that one. Yeah, that seems low. I'll go over here.
Yeah, I feel like that's an easy over, which of course means that I'm wrong.
All right, the next game here.
Austin says I would have put the over under at 48.5 personally. That's closer. Austin, you weren't here when we did over unders during Know Your Enemy. I called one of your numbers exceptionally good. Which one do you think it was? We're playing a side game down in the chat.
All right, and our guest, while he's looking that up, Jared, our guest picker is Cousin Jay in the Discord.
And your family tree.
Yes. He'll be picking alongside us here, and let's see what he says here for the Rutgers and Michigan game. Here he says,
Cousins that pick together stay together, Kyle.
Yeah, well, he says, well, he doesn't think alike here. He's got the skunk weasels. Have not looked at any Rutgers stats except that they're undefeated. Don't care. T-ton in the points.
It was McCord pass yards, Austin. It was McCord pass yards.
All right, well, Cousins don't think the same, so.
Yeah, but you're still picking together. You may have picked separately, but you're still picking together. You in this episode of the SlooPcast, you're picking together. You've come together to pick games, even if you disagree. It makes sense. Stop looking at me like that. Next game, Kyle. Next game. Stop dead airing the podcast.
Florida State and
Gives me anxiety.
Florida State and Clemson. Florida State is a 2.5 point favorite, and Jared. Florida State, ranked 4th. Clemson, not. Florida State, 2.5 point favorite. What?
There's a lot of... It's a talented team. There's still a lot of talent on the Clemson football team, even if none of it seems to be working right now.
So was last year. The offense was shit.
I agree. That's why I'm also taking Florida State. But it feels so obvious that we have to be getting it wrong, right? This feels like a trap. Is my point.
So you think that this is that Clemson's going to pull up the upset in this game?
No, I don't. I think Florida State should absolutely destroy them. But why is it a 2.5 point game? This feels like a trap. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying the answer is so obvious that it has to be a trap.
It's because Clemson put up 48 points on FAU last week.
Knowles sleepwalk into a nooner question mark?
That's why, Jared.
They better not. It's still Clemson. Clemsoning.
If my tone doesn't get to you on who I pick, it's the Seminoles here.
Yeah. Knowles shit themselves versus BC. So every good team, and I don't know how good Florida State is or isn't, because I don't know how good LSU is or isn't, but every team has they played really bad against an inferior opponent game. The good ones still find a way to win. Every team has one of those or two of those during the course of a season. Hell, it might be the wake-up call that they needed in order to... What's it? No, I picked Florida State. I picked Florida State. I'm just acknowledging that it feels like a trap. That's all.
All right. Cousin Jay says he takes Florida State. Thinks last week was a snoozer for Florida State, and they come out winners and the points. I agree. All right. Speaking of snoozing last week here, Alabama and Ole Miss is our next pick here, a 3:30 kickoff in Tuscaloosa, where Alabama is a 6.5 point favorite. Now, this is one of those things where when Alabama loses, doesn't happen often, but when they lose, you don't want to be that next team.
But they aren't that next team, though. That was South Florida.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to play Alabama the week after they go to Tampa.
It felt like a loss. It
did feel like a loss. It felt like a loss before they even kicked off because they went to Tampa. No offense, anyone that lives in Tampa. It's just I'd rather live in Tampa than Tuscaloosa. My point is that why the hell is Bama I don't know, it'd be like if Ohio State went like and played, I don't know, at Nippert Stadium.
Has has Kiffin beaten Saban at all? I feel like he only beaten him once, maybe at Tennessee. Has he even
No,
beaten him? No.
no, no, never,
Yeah,
never.
give me Bama and points and more. I think Alabama's going to try to make a statement here. And if they don't, like if they still come out just flat-footed in this game, you can put almost a pitchfork in Alabama, in my opinion here. Honestly, I don't want to go as far as back in 2014 when Ohio State lost to Virginia Tech, and everybody saying, "Oh, throw them out, throw them out. They're not going to win this
I
year."
still
I don't want
wince
to.
when I hear
don't
the
want to.
word albatross.
I don't want to go there yet. But if they fall flat here and look bad again, it's not going to bode well for Alabama the rest of the year here. But I'll
Hold on,
but
hold on.
for my pick, I got Alabama to cover.
We got all excited, and I missed one of the best jokes I've ever seen in the Discord live chat. When you asked, has Saban or has Kiffin ever beat Saban? He did in 2014. Good work, Spikes. Good work.
All right, what do you got, Jared?
Uh, in the Know Your Enemy show, in the Know Your Enemy episode that we did yesterday, or 20 minutes ago, depending upon which reality you're in, I said if you give me an opportunity to pick Ohio State and they're favored by less than a touchdown, I'm gonna take it. Alabama's favored by less than a touchdown. I'm gonna take it. I'm going to take that opportunity. It feels like rare real estate.
So cousin Jay here, picks Ole Miss here. Something just seems off with this Bama team. Not sure who they are going to trot out at QB. Well, I think they did make a statement earlier. I don't know if it was Tuesday, maybe it was Monday, but he did come out and say who is his quarterback, and that's the first quarterback, Jalen. Jalen's their quarterback. But their offense has no flow. Ole Miss likes to score points, and they do very well against Bama, usually in that department. Ole Miss will cover with the cover and the W. Well, you missed one part there, Jay. They like to score points against Bama, but they can't beat Bama.
But this is a different, worse Bama.
It is, and it's just so odd seeing that, and maybe we just need to take it all in and just enjoy seeing this kind of Bama, I guess.
I don't know. Part of me would say don't throw dirt on Bama yet, but
Yeah.
at the same time, please don't think I'm trying to stitch together the throwing dirt death imagery with the fact that I'm saying Nick Saban's old. I'm not. Please separate those two things in your mind, because I'm only saying that he's going to retire soon. That is all I mean by that. But like does Nick Saban have it in him to rebuild Alabama? Too late, can't take it back. No, I stopped myself. I realized what I was going to say before I said it, and I separated those two pieces of imagery.
All right, next game here. UCLA and Utah. 3:30 game on Fox. And Utah is a 4.5-point favorite. Utah is this team so far this year that they should be like the best or one of the best Pac-12 teams this year.
Pac what now?
But I understand that they have I understand that their best quarterback has been hurt and they just been kind of struggling to pass the ball, which they have. They haven't even been able to. They've only passed for 500 yards in 3 games. Not good. Not good, Jared. So this game here, I think, could be a lot closer here. I think Utah is just playing with fire. They had the big win against Florida. They almost lost to Baylor. They didn't have a great showing over Weber State last weekend here. Yep, the final score is 31-7, but the offense just doesn't look that good here. So you're playing UCLA here this weekend. Yeah, where is Utah going to come up with the offense here? That's going to be the big question here, though. But who do you got in this game?
I'm going Utah. UCLA's put up some impressive numbers, but oh boy, have you seen their schedule this far? Utah's already got a good win in the bag with Florida. I know who Utah is. I don't know who UCLA is. 4.5 points is an acceptable amount of risk to take on. I'm taking Utah.
Yeah, my gut instinct is Utah as well. I mean, yeah, UCLA hasn't played anybody. Coastal Carolina, San Diego State, NC Central.
I kind of wish I'd have watched UCLA and Coastal Carolina just for the uniforms. That must have been a pretty game to watch. Those are 2 elite sets of uniforms right there, UCLA and Coastal Carolina.
I'm just looking at some pictures real quick here.
Jared.
Yeah.
Thank you, Austin.
UCLA came out with their powder blue and yellow pants, their gold pants. And then looks like Coastal Carolina came out with their turquoise pants and white shirt and white helmet.
Pretty game. Had to have been.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Cousin Jay. I picked Utah as well. Cousin Jay here says Utah, like their old school program style, and I think they continue their season strong. Take the points and cover.
There you go.
All right, Jared. Next game here, also at 3:30. A lot of good games this week. Last week was kind of a snoozer. I mean, yeah, we had two top 25 teams that lost last weekend, but there are 7 rank-on-rank games this weekend. A lot of good games. A lot of good games this weekend here. So
a lot of good games.
I think you mentioned in last week's episode about, like, if you're going to get anything done on a weekend, do it that weekend.
Last week was a good chore weekend. This is a good sit your ass on the couch and tell the kids to just go the F outside while they still are able to, because it's going to be snowing soon.
Yeah. Zach said it best here. Football finally starts.
Kinda. It kind of feels like we just got through the preseason and now we're ready to start playing for real. Unless, of course, you're Alabama or Florida or Tennessee. You've already chalked up some losses on the year. Kyle, Colorado and Oregon.
Coach Prime, Coach Lanning, going at it here. Oregon is a 20.5-point favorite. 21.5-point favorite in this game. Seems very high. That seems really high, especially the way Colorado's been playing here. Yes, they are going to be without Travis Hunter in this game, which is a big blow for Colorado. But man, 21.5 seems like a lot. I have a hard time picking Oregon to cover here because I just think Colorado will find ways to, to keep it closer. Now, I think Oregon should be able to win this game, like by 2 scores, but 21.5 is just too much for me. I'll pick the Buffaloes.
It does feel like a lot. You do have to, and by the way, Austin said in the chat I would have placed Oregon at 13.5. That feels much more in line to me.
Z Spikes over under is 71.
That feels right.
That feels right.
That actually feels. I actually would take the over on that. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like Colorado has a lot of attention around them right now, and I think sometimes we confuse attention with quality. If something's getting a lot of attention, it must be good.
I mean, to be fair, like Sanders is having a really good season. He's completing 79% of his passes, 1,251 yards, 10 touchdowns to 1 interception. He's playing very, very well. Now the running attack is piss poor. They're only averaging 2 yards a carry. But I mean, Sanders is playing really, really well here.
But no,
and he's going to be the reason that they keep it close.
But no Travis Hunter.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, they're going to be without Travis Hunter, but they still have Xavier Weaver, who's his main target here. And I really like their running back Edwards too. I think you've seen Edwards in moments show really good athletic abilities here. If he can get out in the open, he's going to cause a lot of damage here. But they got to get their running game going. But
Colorado,
it's going to be closer than 21.
With Colorado, we saw them play a TCU team that returned nobody. They just didn't return anybody. It's a brand new TCU squad. They put it on Nebraska. Good job. Nebraska sucks. And they also had a momentous amount of both player and coach turnover at Nebraska. And then they went to overtime to beat Colorado State. Like, it's just, I think right now we're confusing quality with attention. But the 21 number is just so big, and I'm gonna go. I have to pick Colorado because that 21.5 just, it's too much.
All right, and Cousin Jay says he is picking Oregon. He's going to be a 2-game slide for Colorado, I believe, especially with Hunter missing those 2 games.
Here's the thing. I agree.
Yeah, I think it is going to be 2-game slide, but again, 21.5 points.
No, but 21.5 points. Oregon wins. USC. They if you don't know, they play USC next week. Colorado does. They'll lose that game too. They're and then that, by the way, a lot of people then try and make the case that means that Colorado is bad. Actually, no. Oregon and USC are very good football teams. They shouldn't beat those teams.
No. All right. Next game here we have. Actually, it's our last game. Last game here, 7:30, that none of us are going to be watching, is Iowa and Penn State. Penn State is a 14.5 point favorite. And Jared, and don't look it up, what do you think the over-under is in this game?
It's in the show notes, Kyle.
Oh, it is.
I'm staring right at it. We can ask the chat though. Chat without looking it up.
Yeah, those in the chat. What do you think the over-under is in this game?
while they...
Penn State, Iowa. It was 34.
They're all pretty in line, with the exception of Zach, who's dead on. Yeah, the over-under for this game is 40 points. Penn State's favored by 14.5. They're calling for a snoozer here, Kyle. Or excuse me, a defensive struggle.
Yeah, I think I think that's exactly what we're going to see here. I think it's going to be tough sledding for the offenses here. And
to be fair, 27-13 sounds so right. Yeah, I agree.
You're not wrong here.
I didn't say that. I'm acknowledging the numbers. I'm not saying they're wrong.
Historically, this has been always a close game. In recent Penn State Iowa games, this has been a very close game. So I'm going to go with that logic, and I'm going to pick Iowa to cover. I still think Penn State's going to win.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, and maybe it's because Michigan and Ohio State's to blame for this, but they don't win that many games, as many as they should, in whiteouts.
Austin, hold on, timeout. I hate that whiteout stat. That they, don't win many of their whiteout games. That's because they always do the whiteout when the best team comes.
Well, they mixed it up this year, and they're like,
this is second or third year where they aren't doing, because for years it was just because they'd always have either Ohio State or Michigan at home. So every year it was just the whiteout versus Ohio State or the whiteout versus Michigan. Anyway, Austin says 27-20, final as possible. Take the over and take Iowa, as weird as a sentence as that is. I agree on both counts.
All right. Iowa's got to score touchdowns. You know that, right?
Yeah, but they'll get like one offensive touchdown because the defense put them in good position. Where they didn't
because
have
of a turnover that put them in good position.
Yeah, that's what I mean. A turnover that put them in good position. And then the defense will just straight up score a touchdown. And then they'll get 2 field goals.
Well, I mean, what does PSU stand for?
Pick Six University.
So yeah, there's going to be a pick 6 in here. So
I think it's like Iowa 20, Penn State like 31.
No, lower than that. I'd say this is more of like a Iowa 17, Penn State 27 game, 24.
You know what? I think you're right. I think it's probably only 1 field goal. Yeah, no, you're. I like Kyle's prediction better.
No, 2 safeties and a field goal.
The old Iowa touchdown.
The Iowa touchdown. All right, Cousin Jay says here he's picking Iowa. I believe Penn State wins in the whiteout, but Iowa's offense doesn't see it because they can't even see their defensive opponents 3 yards away from them. Iowa defense keeps it close, but Penn State wins with a defensive score, but Iowa keeps it closer than 2 touchdowns and the hook.
Total side note, if I were going to play in the whiteout, and I know Iowa's like very classic with their uniforms. Like almost never. They like one of the few times we saw Iowa do something weird with their uniforms was, of course, the night they absolutely rocked our faces. But they're normally very classic. I'm just saying, if I were going to be coaching a game against the whiteout, I would bring my all-white jerseys. Just embrace the chaos. Let your own guys sort of sink into the crowd a bit, which is very helpful on defense, although might be detrimental on offense. I'm just saying, embrace it.
They never had an all white though.
You can't, it's coming. Get some white fucking pants. You have a Nike contract. Make one, Kyle. Thank you, Spikes. This is why I did the whole preamble about how Iowa very rarely strays from their normal uniforms. That's what all that preamble was for. To say, I know it would be weird, but... Yes, unfortunately, Jared is right. That's as good as I can get out of the chat some days.
This is the only...
Austin only ever says I'm right when I'm talking about uniforms.
This is the only alternate uniform that I've seen from Iowa.
Well, are you talking about when they destroyed us? Because that's when they came out looking like the Caterpillar tractors. So
they're not going to wear all black. They're not going to wear all black because Penn State's going to be wearing their blue.
Yes, it has to be a white jersey.
They're like, don't show us, Kyle.
Don't show us the Caterpillar jerseys. Don't do it.
It was that one.
The night they kicked our ass, they were wearing the Caterpillar tractor.
Oh no! Not the black ones. No, I'm not talking about the black ones.
Those are the Caterpillars.
Okay. No, it's not. It's not the black ones. No, it's not the ones that they beat Ohio State. It's quite the opposite of that.
Oh no! Oh no! To the listeners, I'm not even going to try and describe this. They look like Oregon, but if Oregon sucked, I've never seen Oregon look that bad. How do I this must have given me...
They call it their gold. They call it their gold uniforms.
Cool. Good for them. Those look like if Oregon and Missouri had a yellow-headed stepchild. Yeah, that's...
Yes, they said these are the gold uniforms with throwback wings. So yeah, that's the black feathers, yes.
Knowing that they're black feathers should make it better. It doesn't.
No.
That's the worst I've ever seen a Hawkeye look, and that's including Jeremy Renner when he ran himself over.
They're going to wear the white and yellow, white top, yellow pants.
Are you mad at me for the Jeremy Renner joke, Austin?
All right. So
I've only ever heard that he's a complete douchebag asshole, for what it's worth.
Yeah. So that is all the picks here, but we do have a few questions from Coach Nomad. Is he in the chat? No, Coach is not in the chat here, but we're gonna answer some questions here. He says here, if you're ranked 10 and your opponent is ranked at 19 and you are favored by 20.5 points, should your opponent really be ranked 19?
Vegas doesn't... Well, of course, he's saying should they be? Probably not. But, like I said, we confuse attention with quality a lot. Just like as a society. If something's getting attention, that must mean it's worthy of the attention, which is not the case.
All right, does Schiano steal Jimmy Harb's milk and hot dogs before the game?
If he's trying. I mean, that should be in the game plan. Mm-hmm. If it's not, and I trust that Schiano, being an Italian in New Jersey, always has like a little bit of gamemanship in his mind. Wait a minute. Where is this? I forgot. Is this New Jersey?
It's in Michigan.
That's the hot dogs. The hot dogs and the milk are going to be in a very secure facility. That's going to be difficult. If it were on the road,
and plentiful.
if it was on the road, there's no place on earth where hot dogs are more plentiful. Well, maybe Chicago, but nowhere else on the East Coast are hot dogs more plentiful than in New Jersey. This is a fact that I just made up, but it's still true.
Another question here: is Duke an actual ACC contender?
No.
I mean, I think they're going to win. Ultimately, they're going to win more games than I think a lot of people think they would before the season starts.
Kyle, of all of the universities,
they do play Notre Dame, they play Florida State, and they play UNC this year. Yeah, I'm going to say, are they an actual contender? I'm going to say no, but it's fun watching them beat Clemson soundly.
Kyle. Of all of the teams,
there is no divisions.
Of all of the teams within 30 miles of you, they're in my top 2 of teams who I expect to go to the ACC championship game.
Okay. More than 30 miles away, but I got you.
Is it? No shit. I was about to ask follow-up questions, and then I realized I'd just be like dialing people into your exact location, so I stopped myself.
All right, Coach Nomad. We get you with this next question here. Is it pronounced Alar or Alar?
I'm sorry, are you bringing pronunciation-based questions to the Sloopcast? I'm sorry, that's just insensitive.
It is.
That's just insensitive. I feel like you're making fun of us for our name blindness, and that's not very politically correct of you, and I'm offended. We mispronounce names here. We don't gotta make fun.
As Zach says in the chat there, it's the rule.
Alar.
All right, and last question here, and we're going to have to wrap it up here. Will this be the only big? Let me try that again. Will this be the only time Big Noon goes to Nip in the 21st century?
I don't know. I mean,
I think
only
the Big 12 will stick around a little bit longer than we think they will. So
no, the Big 12 has staying power. It just won't be relevant.
Will this be the only time? I'll say no, because
that's a very definitive statement.
Yeah, I'm going to say no. No, will it happen the next? Like, how many times will it happen in the next 5 years?
Listen,
maybe put it at 1.5, but
if they were smart, or I guess maybe if they had the resources like ESPN had or has, then they wouldn't even be going to this game. They announced they were going to the Oklahoma-Cincinnati game for Big Noon before Cincinnati ended up losing to fucking Miami and not the Hurricanes.
Yeah, I was going to say which one. All right, that's it. That is all the questions, Jared.
Their existence, but not their relevance. TCU ends up in the SEC before it's said and done.
Yeah. All right, that's it, Jared. We are, as tradition, way over on time here, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here.
We're coming in right about 40. That's not too bad. I know we're supposed to do 30 for these, but it's Notre Dame week. We're having fun. Yep, that's it. That's the end of the episode. What are you doing, Kyle?
Nothing. End the show.
Plug the SSS. That's a good idea. Every single week, we get together in the Discord server, discord.thesloopcast.com, and we watch one of the... I almost said we watch a game together in the Discord, but that's not true. We watch a window. We sort of separate it out into the noon window, the midday window, and the evening window. We all sort of collectively decide which window we're going to watch. The vote is not finalized yet for, as we record this anyway, it's not finalized yet for which one we're doing this week. But last week, we watched Tennessee get absolutely rocked by Florida, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, you hear my commentary. You hear everyone's commentary. Everybody in the Discord server is welcome to watch along with us. The voice privileges in the server is locked down to the Patreon members, but everyone's welcome to watch and to listen. If you want to talk, that's $3 a month. But everyone's welcome to watch and listen. We had hope for Bowling Green for a little while, and it was fun. Yeah, we didn't need Bowling Green to win that game, but the possibility of it was delicious, and that's all that matters. Yeah, that's it. That's the end of the show. Caught anything in Kyle's Corner? South Florida too, yeah. We were watching the South Florida game for a minute. I like how I call it the South Florida game instead of the Bama game.
Buckeye wide receivers in the NFL doing things. That's back-to-back amazing catches by former Ohio State wide receivers. Week 1, it was Garrett Wilson with a great catch, and then this last weekend, Chris Olave with a spectacular catch too. Exactly, developed here. Who's next? Who's going to be week 3, Jared? Who's going to have the amazing catch in week 3 for former Ohio State players or former Ohio State wide receivers?
I mean, I'm just gonna say it's Garrett Wilson again.
I was going to say Scary Terry.
That's a good call. Zach agrees with you.
Zach and I are on the same wavelength there. All right, that's it, Jared. That's all I got.
All right. Tonight's ending music brought to you by Playing to Vapors. Playing to Vapors doing tonight's ending music. So with all of that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beer, listen to local music, and of course support your local podcasters once again. Playing to Vapors.